Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and welcome to the show, y'all. Look, let me give you a quick recap on what's going on. Look, white boy and one of the Vikings girl, they meet a visit. And they try to figure out a way, you know what I'm saying, that they can prove it because they spooked. Look, Jersey done sent their squad over and smacked her around and got their paperwork, so there ain't nothing they can do, you know what I'm saying, about that now, right? So they come up with an idea that, wait a minute, cut off his bread and butter, and then he's of no use, and then they'll be able to get at him. They can't figure out no other way to do it, so she decides that she needs to hit the streets, find out who she needs to talk to, and she does that, and she gets to his uncle. And she tells his uncle what went down, and his uncle figures out who it was that went to confront her, and they get the paperwork, and now he's about to take it to Jersey's father, which is head of the organization on the streets. Real stuff, y'all. Real stuff. Now check this out. This is what plays out. So Jersey's uncle, he's sitting in his car. He's reading over this paperwork, and he sees all of these different situations that have been documented that his nephew has informed about. And the first thing that crosses his mind is like, one, he don't believe it. How can I verify that this is real? How can I prove that this paperwork is real? Now see, when you in the bricks like they in the bricks and you got all of these things going on, you got tentacles everywhere like an octopus. You can touch everything, right? So they know police officers. So he contacts, before he goes to Jersey's dad, he contacts his police officer that he grew up with. It's not dirty at all. But you know, from time to time they exchange favors to help each other. You know what I'm saying? And he said, look, I need a favor. He said, I got some paperwork on my nephew. I'm trying to verify, is this real? I need to know, is this true? And the officer says, what are you talking about? What the paperwork say? And he reads off the paperwork. He said, that's the confidential, reliable information, you know what I'm saying, form that's used in prisons when you have somebody in prison that's telling, you know what I'm saying, what's going on to the administration. He said, but how do you get this? How do you know it's real? And he said, what information is on it? And he starts to read it to him, how it's written and all this and that, right? He said, that sounds about right. He said, I can't verify for you that it's legit without seeing it, but it sounds right. He said, that's enough for me. It sounds right. He said, look, don't say anything to anybody about this, right? He said, no. He said, I can't even be talking to you about that because that paperwork, you know what I'm saying, the information that's on it, you know, that's passed on to the people on the streets. You know what I'm saying? The DAs and attorney generals and stuff like that. So Jersey's uncle said, what? He was like, yeah, that information is used to see who's supplying individuals too. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're in prison, it ain't like you create the drugs in there. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's bringing it in too. So if he's cooperating, he had to have cooperated on the whole scheme of things. And this freaks him out. He's like, how can this be my own nephew? So he gets off the phone with him and tells him thanks. And he gets off the phone and the driver is getting closer and closer to his brother's house. And he's trying to figure out how is he going to tell his own brother that his son is a rat. How do you do that? How do you approach the conversation? You know, these individuals now, you got to keep in mind his Jersey's uncle and his dad, they not Vikings. They mobsters, man. You understand what I'm saying? With major plugs. Many people rely on them, you know what I'm saying, for their source of income. They don't deal with this old gang stuff. They're on a whole nother level. They on some real stuff. You know what I'm saying? Real money. And it's not about, you know, letting somebody slide that you like and all this and that. You violate the rules, there's a penalty to be paid. And if that penalty is not acted out in the right way, the individuals that didn't act it out in the right way, they're dealt with. This stuff ain't no joke. The monsters are about a livelihood. You understand what I'm saying? Gang members are about, you know what I'm saying, a little level lower than that. You know, when you worrying about streets, you worrying about, you know what I'm saying, somebody talking about your colors, you worrying about those types of things, right? That's minor when it comes to mobsters. Mobsters are talking about their livelihoods, their lifestyles, a code that really means something to them. It's twisted. twisted and crazy, just as crazy in my opinion, but hey, who knows? People do what they do. Takes all kinds to make the world go round. You shouldn't want to be a part of that, though. You feel me? Because the consequences, the repercussions in there, ooh, oh my God, you can't sleep at night. You got to change where you lay your head every night. So anyway, Jersey's uncle, he pulls up at the house. He gets out of the car, and he's going in. He's got a piece of paper, you know what I'm saying, on his inside coat. He gets into the house. He hugs his brother. His brother said, "What's going on, man? I got your message that you was on the way. You needed to talk to me. What's going on? Talk to me. Anything that I can help you with?" He said, "Bro, we got a problem." He said, "You usually take care of all the problems before you even come to me, so what's going on? Do what you normally do." He said, "I can't. I can't do that in this situation." He said, "Why can't you?" He pours him some bourbon, passes it to him. He pours himself some bourbon, and they both sipping. His Jersey's uncle takes it, downs his whole little glass shot. He said, "Look, bro, so I need you to take a look at this." He lays it on the counter. Jersey's dad looks at it. He sees his son's name right there at the top of it. And he scans down over it. And he looks back up at his brother. He said, "Where you get this?" And he tells him the whole story about the girl, that came to one of the guys on the block, told him. They went by the house, told him how the individuals that worked for them ended up with it, told him that, Jersey told him to get rid of it. They decided not to get rid of it, probably going to blackmail him with it later on, like everybody else is trying to blackmail him. So Jersey's dad takes a seat. It's almost too much for him. He is spinning like a top, y'all. You understand what I'm saying? He is spinning like a top. So he sits down and he says, "Okay, so what would we normally do in a situation like this?" Listen to me, y'all. That quick, he gets past the fact that this is his son, and he gets onto the business. This is mobster stuff. He gets onto the business. He said, "What would we do in a situation like this?" And he said, "Well, we would neutralize the threat." He said, "How can we neutralize this threat? My son, your nephew, without doing what we normally would do." And he said, "Man, there's a couple of things that we could do." He said, "We could just take him all the way out the game." He said, "What do you mean by that?" He said, "I'm not talking about hurt him. Cut him all the way off." He said, "But we don't know what damage he's already caused." He said, "We got lawyers, we could deal with that. But we're going to cut him off from being able to hurt us anymore. And if it is too bad," and his father, look, listen to me, y'all. His father's looking at him. He said, "If it is too bad," while he pulled him another shot, he downs it real quick. He said, "You're going to have to do what you normally do, because this is bigger than us." He said, "I know." He said, "Cut him off. We'll still take care of him, send money to his books, but cut him off. And anybody that's got anything to do with him, cut him off. All of them are done as of right now." His uncle picked up the phone, made one phone call, and told him from here on out, from this day forward, anybody associated with the Vikings organization is to no longer be supplied anything whatsoever, mostly including Jersey. Any of his associates call, any of them trying to pick up any money that they owe, forget about it. If they owe money, don't even worry about it. We're done. Walk away from them as of right now. Nothing is to be sold to them in any way, shape, or form. Anybody that tries to sell them anything and is found out, excommunicado. You got it? The person on the other end said, "We got it, boss." They didn't even question what was going on or anything. They knew that if it was money being turned down, that it was serious. It was real deal stuff. So the game was over. It was over. So now Jersey, he doesn't understand. He don't know what's going on. He makes a call to his girl and he tells his girl, make sure everything is straight. You know what I'm saying? All the different areas that we need to hit, blase, blase. She said, "I got it, baby." She makes a phone call. She makes a phone call to one of Jersey's daddy's associates. The phone just rings and rings and rings. No answer. She hung it up, called back, hung it up, called back. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Nobody's answering. He calls her back from the prison. She said, baby, ain't nobody answering the phone. He's like, did you call the right number? She's like, yeah, I've called it 1,000 times. I know the number. He said, call it again and let me listen. She calls it and ring, 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 just over and over and over. Nobody's answering, baby. That's what she tells him. He said, well, let me call. You know what I'm saying? I'll call you back in a minute. So he hangs up with his girl. He calls on the state phone, and it rings. On the second ring, they pick up. You have a collect call, and his name is said and all this and that. And then his father picks up and says, hey, son, how you doing? He said, I'm doing all right, Pops. He said, what's going on? He said, you tell me. He said, what's going on? Ain't nobody answering my gal. You know what I'm saying? She called me. He said, oh, okay. I don't know what that's about. He said, but what's going on? Anything you need to tell me? Jersey like, no, not really. You know what I'm saying? He said, okay. He said, call me back later when you get a chance. That was their code for call me on another phone line. So Jersey said, yeah, okay, I'll call. He said, how's mom doing? He said, she's doing fine. You need anything? Jersey said, no, I'm good right now. He said, but I'll let you know. He said, call me back when you get a chance later on. He said, okay, I will. Jersey gets off the phone, goes to the cell, pulls out the cell phone, calls his dad on the phone. His dad immediately said, what the fuck are you trying to do to me? And Jersey said, what are you talking about, Pops? He said, you working with the police? Jersey goes silent. He said, Pops, no, I wouldn't do that to you. He said, I'm looking at the fucking paperwork right now. Jersey goes silent. He said, they lying on me, Dad. They lying. They trying to blackmail me. He said, I've already checked. This is real. He said, listen to me. You're my son. And that's the only reason that you're still alive when I'm talking to you. Jersey starts sweating. But he's getting angry too. Angry. He said, look, I'm going to continue to take care of you. You're not going to want for anything. But whatever you've done that can touch me and my family, your family, you understand? Forget about it. Do you understand? He said, yes, sir. He said, do you understand me? He said, yes, sir. He said, is there anything else that I need to know? He said, no, sir. He said, how long have you been doing this? He said, Pops, I don't want to talk about it. He said, how long have you been doing this? Since I got locked up. He said, son, why? Why me? Why your mom? He said, I don't want to die in prison, Dad. He said, son, this is the life we chose. It's the life we chose. I told you not to go out that night. But you thought you had something to prove to me. And it cost you the rest of your life in a cage. Now you got to live with that. I'm going to take care of you, but you got to live with that. He said, what am I going to do now? He said, because if I can't supply these guys with what they need, they're going to kill me. They're going to kill me, Dad. His dad on the other end of the line goes silent. He says, son, this is the life we chose. Mistakes and all. This is the life we chose. So Jersey is on the other end, and now his fear is turning to anger. It's turning to anger. He's starting to see his dad as somebody that he hates, but see, he's not calculating in his mind. He's not understanding in his mind why his dad is angry at him. It's all about him now, you know. It's all about him. He was willing to take his dad and the whole organization down, but now that his dad knows and his dad is calling him and telling him, look, you chose this, now he's upset. He's upset. And see, that's what I want y'all to understand about this lifestyle. People get in this lifestyle and you get to playing games and doing all these different types of things, and then when the time for the chickens to come home to roost, now you get mad because somebody catches you doing something you ain't got no business, and now all of a sudden you want them too. There's nothing good about this lifestyle. There's nothing honorable about this lifestyle. You shouldn't want to live it. You shouldn't want to live it. Because see, when you start to do certain things in this lifestyle, there are certain obligations that you have to fulfill. And one of those obligations is to keep your mouth shut even if it harms you. Imagine that. You get a get out of jail free card, so to speak, but that jail calls for you or requires you to cooperate with the police, or you spend the rest of your life in prison. What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? Even if it's your family, you're willing to take down your whole family and destroy your whole family, right? And let me give you the parallel in that, right? Those of you that might be considering this lifestyle. Let's say that your family is clean, legit, hard-working people, right? Which most people are. And they're going to work every day and they're doing what they're supposed to do. But you out there in the street, you don't want to listen to mama and daddy, right? You're doing all of these different types of things. You're finna ruin their name too. This is not just about somebody that's living the lifestyle, their parents live the lifestyle. You're ruining what they're doing. If your family is legitimate or not, you putting a stain on them. You shouldn't even want to be in this lifestyle that's going to cause your family embarrassment and shame. But see, we don't see that. We don't see that. See, we get caught up in this and we want to prove something to our friends, the people in the streets, the people that don't even care nothing about you, that don't even know you. And let me tell you something, even if they do know you, they can't care nothing about you if they want you to do something that's going to cause you to lose your freedom and hurt somebody else in the process. They can't care about you. They can't care about you. See, the one thing about the streets, right, you don't see stupid coming, right? See, if you knew stupid was coming, you wouldn't listen to stupid. Anybody that listens to stupid is stupid. But in the streets, you don't see stupid coming. So you listen to stupid, and then you end up doing something stupid. And when you end up doing something stupid, guess what happens? Get hit on top of the head. Now you're mad at everybody because you showed yourself to be stupid. Leave this stuff alone. Ain't nothing glamorous about the lifestyle. Ain't nothing glamorous about the lifestyle. But let me get back to it. So now, Jersey's on the other end of the line and he don't know what to say, and he tells his dad, he said, "Dad, I love you." He's angry with him though. And he hangs up the phone. His daddy tell him he love him too. They get off the phone. First thing he does with that phone, calls the DA. Calls the DA. Tell the DA that his daddy knows. And the DA said, "How much does he know?" He said he knows everything. He said somehow he ended up with the paperwork. So the DA says, "What do you want me to do?" He said, "Do you have enough that can help me get out if I still testify?" The DA said, "You still willing to testify?" He's like, "Yeah." He said, "But I don't have enough to get your dad." He said, the deal was to take the whole organization down and we'll work on getting you a time cut so you can get out. We don't have enough to get him. He said, "We got enough to get some time off of you." But he said, "If you testify now, if we stop now," he said, "you're going to have to do a little bit more time, but you will get out one day. You will get out one day. But you're not going to be able to be around your family. Are you willing to deal with that? You're going to have to go into protective custody. Are you willing to deal with that?" And he says, "Anything to get out of prison." And the DA says, "We'll be in touch." You want to hear how this turns out, y'all? You're going to have to listen to the next episode, right? This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all.